This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/AwesomeCast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the social medias in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania with y'all, what the hell? With you all. I watched a TikTok on pronouns today. But we're going to have a lot of fun here today. First of all, from the Duds Cave is the Dudders. Katie's with us.
Hi, I'm playing everyone's favorite game. Is it allergies or is it a cold?
Oh, that's not a filter. Got you.
Nope, that is what I sound like. It is my sexy voice. 1-900 Dudders.
Welcome to 1-900 Dudders. Hold on, I need to change the corner graphic now. So also with us from the Pod Cave is Dave Podnar of the iPhoneography Podcast.
I'm glad to be here, and luckily, the allergies have not hit me yet. We all know they come for us all.
I'm fighting the head. I'm fighting the head stuff a little bit, and my Rite Aid is closing, so I have no available place and in time to go get it. I was like, do I just Instacart just my sinus medicine? I don't know. Mm-hmm. So the answer is yes, right? So I should Instacart it here during the show, depending on how this goes. Anywho, this is the AwesomeCast. We're gonna get geeky with you guys. We're gonna talk some tech. We're gonna talk some fun stuff here for the week. So let's get into our. I plugged the board in this week. Let's start with. What you got, Dave?
Sure. So recently, another podcast I listened to called The Morning Stream with Scott Johnson and Brian Ibbett, they had a get together in Vegas called TMS Vegas. Very creative with the naming. Mm-hmm. So they had they normally, and they've had this before in the past. They had a bigger thing called Nerdtacular that Scott held in Salt Lake City. It got smaller, especially after COVID, just being like a Vegas meetup type thing. But they had swag that they had available. Mm-hmm. But he understands, that's a large podcast and not everyone can make it to Vegas. So they had available that you could buy just the swag. And it was delivered to me not too long ago. Yeah, it's actually not a bad price for what you're getting. Mm-hmm. Also,
$24.99 it has here. It says, originally $59 or whatnot.
Yeah, well, that was the ticket. The $59 was the original ticket.
I got you.
So that included everything you would do there in person. So
okay, it
comes with two little. Don't want to drop it. 3D printed frogs.
Mm-hmm. Hold close to your face. Maybe. Yeah, there you go. Because you're yeah. There you go. With your face. Are you? Wait. Katie, is this where the hand thing comes in? What that they do on the TikTok? Is that what he needs to be doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, try that. Yeah. Give that a shot, Dave.
There you go.
There we go.
Well, you gotta talk so we got you
again. Okay. Let's see.
There we go. There you go. So you got a tiny little frog, a nice little frog guy.
Frog there. Mm-hmm. You got a Frogpants shot glass.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
You have various prints of things written, drawn by both Scott and his daughter Carter, mm-hmm. who they're both incredibly talented artists. Mm-hmm. So you get Kirby as a ice cream cone getting licked.
Yeah, nice.
And I don't recognize this, but from Carter, a monster with I don't know if the girl's kind of like, now that I caught you, now what? Mm-hmm. A coaster, some stickers, and a challenge coin. So if you've gone to conventions or things where you get a coin for attending, mm-hmm. and this is their. See if I can. There we go. So they have. Oh, here we got reversed. So it's a little coin with the official logo, which is Welcome Vegas TMS with a little Scott and Brian down there.
Mm-hmm.
And on the back side, it says, let's focus here, welcome to the fabulous morning stream, looking like the old Vegas sign. And it's a nice coin in terms of thickness, and it's a nice metal coin there. So it's kind of something nice that they do for the community, especially those who, not everyone can say, I'm going to Vegas.
Yeah.
As much as, I mean, given what they have going on out there, it sounded really fun, but sometimes you just can't go places. So it's nice what they did. And honestly, when I looked up, I just out of curiosity, like, okay, if you wanted to make a challenge coin like this, which is enameled, colored, two-sided, and everything, what's available out there, and there's tons of places where you can get it. The problem is the minimum amount.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to, for most of them, the smallest is like 50 coins you have to do. But a lot of them, if you want the good price, they initially quote, you need 500.
Right.
So, but like I said, it's nice to see a podcast have a supportive community and being able to participate virtually.
I like it. It's a nice bit of swag, and of course, Scott Johnson is an artist, so the art is going to be really really top notch for something like this. Yeah. So that's really cool. So that's the TMS Vegas 2025 swag bag. Looks like they have a few available still, right? And you can see a little bit of that close ups of a lot of that stuff that you were talking about there. And they also have a lot of other stuff that's available there. That's on frogpants.shop if you'd like to go check that out. Really cool series. Networking community there. I've heard a little bit of them, but I know they're on a lot of shows that I listen to as well, especially Scott and everything. And the Daily Tech News shows guys are a part of that network, of crew as well. So that's really cool. So awesome. Yeah. So go check that out. Katie. It's Katie. That was my stalling. Katie, I don't know why I did like that. But Katie, what's your awesome thing of the week?
So I like birds. I'm of the age where I enjoy birds. I've always enjoyed birds and identifying birds. But it's not, I've really become into figuring out which birds are making what noises. Cause what I thought birds sounded like, certain birds, is not what they actually sound like. So I come across this app. It's called Merlin ID, by Cornell Lab. And it identifies bird sounds, and it will record your section of the bird sounds, and then as you click, it'll give you suggested birds that pop up underneath, and it'll even tell you, if you go back and click those birds later after you're done with your recording, at what point you can hear that bird's song. So I've been able to, when we go to places, we've traveled to Arizona and Tucson, Arizona, and up in Michigan, I've pulled it out to just kind of figure out what birds are hanging out and hanging around. And once you kind of positively identify them against a sample call, then they kind of become a part of your life list, and which is kind of like catching Pokemon for me in my head. But so then you're able to, you don't have to go back. It's essentially you're doing research for them. They're giving you research back, and it's I like it. And I enjoy it a lot. And it works really well.
And it's from Cornell Lab. You played a little bit with this when we were at the Lake House Airbnb for our Michigan trip a couple weeks ago. And that was really cool to see what popped up there. And of course, we're very, very loud geese in the meantime as well, right?
Yeah, and it was wild because I didn't even get a chance to share the swan, the flap. So the swans make noise. And they also have distinctive sounds when they're flapping their wings. And I was like, okay, there's not possible. And then I saw it happen and recorded it. Yes, I don't know what the swans were telling each other, but there was a lot of wing flapping.
We were very, very fortunate because I it seemed that we were this lakeside community, and I remember I was like, there's nobody here around this lake, right? Of all these houses, right? and they started showing up towards the weekend, and you saw pontoons going out and everything like that. So it was really nice. Those first, we get up there Tuesday night. The rest of our crew showed up Thursday. I think like maybe Thursday we started seeing our first signs of life amongst people around there in general. And so we had a very cool, quiet exposure to just the wildlife, right? And that was like, it seemed like the perfect environment for you to kind of play with this app.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was fun to like just hear the different sounds from different directions, and like after them being identified, being like, oh yeah, I do hear that now, and going back to them, and I thought it was fun. I always enjoy it.
Awesome. So that is, if you want to find it, that's Merlin Bird ID. I downloaded it as well. It's merlin.allaboutbirds.org. Ooh, what's allaboutbirds.org? What's our main thing here? So okay, this is just the Bird Academy at Cornell Lab. Is this Cornell college that this is connected to?
It's the, what is it? You're gonna make me say this. The Merlin staff is based out of Cornell Lab of Ornithology. Oh, I could do that even with this stuffy nose.
Yeah, and to answer your question, Sorg, if you go down to the very bottom of the webpage, it does say Cornell University.
Excellent.
Yeah, and the one thing I do like is that it does work offline. So a lot of times when you're looking for birds or you're seeing birds, you're out in the middle of nowhere. You may not even have a cell signal. And the fact that you don't need a cell signal, it's all downloaded. And since it is university based like this, it's not, well, you can we'll give you a free to identify 10 birds, but if you want to identify all the birds, it's $9.99 a month.
Yeah.
It's free because they're using, like you said, they're using this for research. And given how research is getting squeezed, funding for research, I can see more universities starting to say, can we outsource data collection, large data collection like this?
Yeah. By the way, I'm poking around more of this site, and there's also bird cams. Look at the little birdies. Look at those guys.
So
this is allaboutbirds.org. It's like it looks like a really good place for you to just hang out if you like birds, right? So that's really cool. So Merlin ID app, if you want to go look for it, is in both Google Android and on the iPhones as well. So and for those curious, I did just put an Instacart order because I'm starting to feel my sinuses now too. So I don't know why. I don't know why I've been holding off all day. And of course, this is the point where it's really important that I can see straight. We'll see if they come by the end of the show. So anywho, bird reference. Woo! There you go. Let me go with, I had a lot to happen this weekend. Of course, we did do some production with our friends at NWA Exodus. We're up there with our friends on the NWA YouTube. You can check that out. We did some behind the scenes photos of that, and our buddy EC3 there, Katie, was there for that, on hand for that funness. So you can check it out YouTube. NWA Wrestling's YouTube, you'll see NWA Exodus. The Boys Are Back in Town, where we discovered how many versions of The Boys Are Back in Town there are, because that's all they played for an hour before the show. So
Jared,
it was wild. So they really, really go into the theme. And then I got to hang out today. We just dropped today the Big League Pro Wrestling's Patriot games from up in Erie on Saturday night, which is the live the tape we did. I got to be ringside for that one and doing that. And they announced Rikishi at the Comic-Con and with the person that runs the Comic-Con up there in Erie and everything. So that's going to be a lot of fun, of course, for those guys up there. But the big thing for me was I got to ride the Steel Curtain, guys. Finally, I honestly didn't go to Kennywood, I think, for about the entire era where it was open. From 2019 through, of course, between COVID and everything, I just wasn't in a hurry to get back. And we talked about our passes and everything like that. I already sent Katie a message. I was like, I need to go ride this with you for the first time, your first time, to hear all the swears. And
I said that's a new Patreon level.
There you go.
Give us enough money, I'll ride roller coasters with you and make up swears.
Yes, because Katie gets a little potty mouth when you ride the roller coasters a little bit, especially new ones that you don't know where they're going to go.
Nope.
Nope. And this is
can't control it to even like the PG version of just me saying something over and over again.
So a little bit, it's 9 inversions. It's fun. It's like a dream. I'm just smiling through this thing. It's so much fun to ride this thing. We got the holy shoot elite pass because you get two rides on it plus all the elite fast pass or speedy pass, I guess it is on, which is like $100 with plus a discount that we got for that. So we're just like, you know what, let's just coaster the hell out of this thing, right? So that was a lot of fun to do that. We hit every coaster there. Chachi was my coaster buddy for the day, and which was also fun because he's a Browns fan that we brought on the Steelers roller coaster twice. But you know, that was the other reason we got the pass, because we didn't want to sit for 70 minutes with him around just a bunch of Steelers fans. You're right. So we're just alleviating that. But it was really nice for that kind of thing. Again, I guess the big thing is I guess it's a record. It's very interesting going to Kennywood because you don't think about these things, because like they announced that Steel Phantom's Revenge is like the USA Today voted best coaster in America, which is so strange that it's on Kennywood of all places. That is the best in America thing, but also, you know, USA Today, I'm sure that's like the other best of Pittsburghs and things. You know, it's probably an interesting voting thing that somebody did a rally for votes. So, sorry, the headache's starting to hit me now. So I'm starting to think about it, and I'm coming down off of the workday. But this one has like the most inversions, one of them, and it kept saying like the tallest in Pennsylvania, which is like what, Hershey Park? So, I can hear you researching. I hear the tippity tappies of the researching over there.
Yeah. So I don't know why they said Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's
probably true.
Oh, no, it's true because like you said, there's, Knoebels up in like I think that's in Pennsylvania somewhere.
Sure.
You have the one up in Erie.
You can't, which isn't much up in Erie. So,
and then you, like you said, Hershey is the other major coaster.
Idlewild.
But I mean, I think it's one of those things of, okay, this is the tallest. What biggest geographic region can we make it the tallest?
Mm-hmm.
Can we say
sounds good.
Northeast,
it sounds good.
Yeah. Can we say Northeast PA?
Can't say the Midwest.
Probably not.
No. Can't say the Midwest. You know.
No, because Cedar Point takes everything away.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. So, but no, it was really good for that. This is the first time that Kennywood has you exit through a gift shop, by the way. So little Disney-ification there, and then of course they had redone on that whole area. And again, I hadn't seen much of it since in the recent years until now. So, so definitely worthwhile. And I'm going to look for days where the line's not too long and try to sneak in there. So with that pass, definitely worthwhile for something like that. So go check it out. Very fortunate to have some pretty decent roller coasters here, like in the Pittsburgh area, is pretty crazy to me when you think about it. Though, I mean, how many cities can like, I could just go ride a roller coaster today? Like I feel like there's not many. At least like in the range that we are, because this is just outside the city as far as that goes. So, but definitely check it out. Steel Curtain, and I'm trying to remember if there's anything else that was special from the weekend. They have the Bytes and Pints, which I want to do this. Katie, remember Epcot? Remember how Epcot is like around the world, like around that lake? Like they did the Bytes and Pints, and it's and they have the booths for each like country, and it's around the pond. So you could do your drinking and eating around the world, just like you can at Epcot. It's like a mini Epcot situation going on there. So I just seems like a goals, if you will. So, but anyways, so go check it out. Steel Curtain. It's worth it. It's worthwhile. I don't know about a 70-minute wait, but see what you can do with it. Yeah, and the only way you can get, I think none of the, also, remember I was saying, it's really great. The Speedy Pass was only $10. They knocked them all up. Yep. They started $30 for the virtual queues and everything. So I was like, okay. So we'll see about that. But in the meantime, Hey, in the meantime, I want to give a shout out to our friends at patreon.com/awesomecast that's supporting the show over there. Our friends at the executive producer level, Brian Crawford, Cynthia Klosky, John Nagore, and Dave Podnar, of course, supporting the show here. You guys support the show at patreon.com/awesomecast. And we did bring back the Patreon. The Patreon only feed is back this week. Probably only for this week because we're going to be on the road next week. So we'll be broadcasting from live from the hotel room in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Once again, we'll be rolling that, and I'm going to be bugging and poking my video partner for the week, Scotty Swemba of Enjoy Wrestling, to get in on the podcast, this or the wrestling show. He says he'll never get on a podcast, but I think I might have to literally physically drag him into one. Don't send him this clip. But thank you everybody that does support the show. Patreon.com/awesomecast. Hey, Chachi says it's a light news week. It is Memorial Day week. So instead, he's got a little bit of a rant about prices of video games and ownership. This is going to be the Chachi 2-minute rant. We'll be right back after this.
Hey kids, welcome to the Chachi Says Video Game Minute. Sometimes there isn't enough worthy news to cover, or sometimes we just have a bigger topic to discuss. This is one of those times, so instead, welcome to the Chachi Says Video Game Rant. One of the biggest debates in gaming right now is the potential rise in the cost of new games from $60 or $70 to $100. While I understand the displeasure of having to pay more, there hasn't been a meaningful price rise in over 10 years when it comes to buying video games. Meanwhile, the cost involved in creating said games skyrockets. It's estimated that Take-Two has spent upwards of $2 billion in creating GTA 6 alone. The gaming industry, after all, is a business, and if those businesses don't make money, there isn't an industry, and we'll all just be back to pushing hoops down the street with sticks or kicking cans. What we really need to be concerned with is the more important fight that is the definition of ownership and what it means when we buy a game. That's the real fight. Some companies want you to believe that all you pay for is a key to open the door to access the game that they created, even going as far as saying that they should be selling an empty case with an activation code in it. Activision is all in on this idea that they're selling a hub on the disc that allows you to access the games that they created, or the different modes even, going as far as stopping you from accessing the offline story mode without an internet connection to make sure that you have a license. So my point? Let's be outraged at what it means to spend $60 to $100 on a video game before we fake outrage at the cost of the game, because when it all boils down to it, we're gonna spend the money. So let's make sure we own what we're buying. Thanks for watching this week's Chachi Says Video Game Minute. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Josh, for that ranty rant. Yeah, and that is a concern. You know, I've kind of given up on ownership a little bit ago. As far as things, I always say it's all about trust. You know, I trust Microsoft to not screw me in my licensing, right? I trust Steam not to screw me in my licenses when I pay for $120 for a WWE game with all the frills and stuff like that, right? Like, it'll still be there as long as they support it. So, I think that's, and I think they'll probably open things up, at some point, especially at Microsoft. They seem to be really big on the preservation of games. And we always talk about good old games, GOG.com. In recent weeks as well, and I think that's the thing. Other than buying physical discs, which of course, here's the thing that happens. You put in a physical. Let's say I buy, WWE 2K 25 or something, right? You put that disc in. It still needs to read a server and update, no matter what is on the disc.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so many of those things are tied to online. It doesn't matter that you have a physical disc anymore. It seems like more of a hassle. That's one of the reasons I gave up on it. As soon as I saw that you couldn't just put in a disc and play, the last consoles to do that were like the Xbox 360 and what would be the PlayStation 2. Like, when I saw the PlayStation 3 start doing that it looked like every disc needed to be installed. That's when I was done with the PlayStation. And that's when I was done with discs, because it just doesn't make sense to me anymore at that case,
I mean, haven't PC games been like that even longer? Because I remember there were PC games they said it was anti-piracy,
Sure.
that you had to keep the disc in,
and
so you couldn't burn the disc.
You're absolutely correct, because there would be an install, but there would still seem to be points where, well, what ended up happening with a lot of PC games is you would install the entire game on your hard drive, and it would use the CD or DVD to play the music, right? But still, there were ones that just would install the entire thing to your thing. Quake 2, I remember, was like, this one's a 500 megabytes. That's crazy, right? Back when you were lucky if you had a terabyte, or not a gigabyte. Oh my god, a gigabyte drive was crazy back then, right? Katie, you're on the Switch. I keep forgetting. Are you mostly like a bot game, like a physical game player on there, or a downloadable? Because like I feel like that's still one where you can plug in the game and just play like a cartridge, right?
I have Mario Party. I think that is the only physical one that I own. To be
Everything
honest. I don't even think everything else is digital, because especially because like Animal Crossing was my first Switch game, and I don't. That was near impossible to find. Like that when I got it was like March 20th, so it was literally the days it had come out, and that's the whole reason I bought a Switch to begin with. And so you couldn't get them in stores at that point.
I forgot how much
I can get it online. Done.
I forgot how much that game was. It was a COVID baby. Like second day of COVID, it dropped. Like it was planned. So interesting. So I mean, that might be the way to go. But still, you can of course buy all physical games on Switch for not all of them, but a lot of them, right? So that's interesting. I mean, there seem to be still a lot of them in the retro game store we found in Grand Rapids, Ohio. No, it wasn't Grand Rapids, Ohio. It was Bowling Green, Ohio.
Bowling Green.
Excuse me.
Yeah, we were in Bowling Green. Yeah. There's still a ton of games on Switch. That you can get in physical copies.
It's keeping it alive, which is great considering how terrible Nintendo seems to be with digital. Like I don't trust Nintendo on digital. Like if I got a Switch, I'd probably just be grabbing a bunch of physical games, right? It feels like I'm playing it like an old Game Boy or something. So that does remind me, Katie, you did have a little, but I got to share an experience with you that I got to discover about a year ago in Grand Rapids, Ohio, which is the quaintest little town. But one of the biggest features that brings you there in the first place is, of course, the full-size Battle Cat, just like the old He-Man toy that you got to ride here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. It's like a Cringer meets Battle Cat kind of.
Well, it
looks so great. Yeah,
if you look
I love it.
It's a 1-to-1 to the original toy, right? It's just missing all the Battle Cat accoutrement situation. So
yes, I love it.
So, but of course they had wonderful knick-knack shops, or what do you call those? Tchotchkes and books and everything. We lost a lot of time coming back from Michigan. Let's put it that way. And then we went to Bowling Green to get coffee, and then found yet another bookstore and a retro arcade video game store across the street. So we lost like another hour or so to that stuff, right? So
well, since we have I think based upon the text message we just got, I think we have somebody from EXO watching the show. But the boys are back in town. But it was hilarious to me because we were in that store, and I have my NWA it says EXO for Exodus shirt on, and the guy behind the counter was super excited because he thought it was the rap group NWA and knew nothing about wrestling.
Wait, where was this at? It was the
guy behind the counter. At the video game store.
That's right, because you were talking to him, and then you brought up 316 Day, and then we started losing him. So we did, that's where we find out if you're actually cool or not. So he did not pass
dropped
the test.
off right there.
Despite the fact that you were in a video game store and have a free arcade in the back, which was cool. Like that was pretty cool. So you even had like a Pump It Up, which is not that Dance Dance Revolution, but that's okay. But they had like a lot of decent games back there in general. So they probably about 15 machines back there between the front and the back.
I think so too.
All free to play. They had a pretty modest selection of. I actually did end up picking a couple games up. I picked up a WWE 2K like 13 or 14, I think it was, and what I get Soul Calibur 2 for the Xbox, which includes Spawn. I'm collecting those for Missy and she's a big Soul Calibur fan. So, anyways. And I'm a big Spawn fan, so it works out. So, loving our road trips there. We'll see what we get into in the next week or so. But from that, I'm going to get back to my notes and figure out where the heck we are. Dave, did you have something? Put this in here.
Yeah, I put that in there. Mm-hmm. So it's a gentleman who, if you remember the Apollo 13 movie, mm-hmm. And this is part that really did happen. Now, more than likely, it was like all things engineering. It was a giant team, or a team at least, that worked on it, not one person. But during Apollo 13, things broke on the way out. They're like, we can't turn it around. It would take too much energy to turn it around. We're just going to have to whip around the moon as fast as possible. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, we're losing oxygen. And because there's the carbon dioxide scrubbers they have on to remove the carbon dioxide. And they're like, well, we have 3 people down here. We weren't planning on that. Mm-hmm. They said, but we have another bit of the spaceship here. We have the control module. We can just take it from, and they were different shapes. Mm-hmm. Because the control module and the landing part were built by 2 separate companies. Mm-hmm. And of course, the 2 separate companies didn't say, oh, by the way, what shape and size is your carbon scrubber? We're using cylinder. You're using a square one. Well, he's the one, if you remember from the movie, they're like, okay, they have it up there. Use what they have up there, which is pretty much duct tape and garbage bags, and make a solution. Mm-hmm. And it was his team that made the solution of, okay, we did this. We figured out how to do it. We'll give them the step-by-step instructions so they can hook it up to the other machine so they won't die. Mm-hmm. And it was, if you want to call it MacGyverism.
Before MacGyver was MacGyver.
Exactly. It's like, okay, what do you have on hand to fix the problem that you have? Okay, we can take this and this and this. This is all we have. Put it together. Try it a couple times to make sure it works. Run it through the machine to make sure it's actually scrubbing. And that gentleman just passed last week. Mm. So, honestly, the last time we went to the moon was December 1972. So, this gentleman was 95. And a lot of the engineers who were around back in the Apollo days are no longer with us. Because you figure, even if you were a young engineer, let's say you were 25 in 1969, you're talking people who are, getting close to 80 years old. If you were very young. But if you were, in your 30s or 40s, and kind of in your prime of beginning of your prime of your engineering career, these people are, aging out, to put it nicely. So when people say, we went to the moon back in the 60s, why can't we do it now? Well, we don't have the tooling. We can't build it anymore. We don't have the machines to build it. And we don't have the engineering knowledge. A lot of that knowledge has gone away, unfortunately. So, when we have people who are, this is the old-fashioned stereotypical engineer who's like, okay, dump stuff in front of me and I'll try to figure out what we can do to get it to work. Mm-hmm. So just knowing that these people are still around and, celebrating them while they're still here.
That's very cool.
Yeah. And to put it, and this is something occasionally, if you're not into space and technology, you don't realize that the last time when we splashed down was mid-December of 1972 is when we splashed down from the last moon landing. We've had space stations. We've had a space station up there for 20 plus years now. We had space shuttles, but that's all low Earth orbit. We have not sent a person out of low Earth orbit in 52 years, more than 52 years.
Aside from the space thing, we've been talking about a lot with the formula and engineering. I'm just podcasting another interview we did with actually somebody from another space company that'll be dropping here in June for the Beyond the Competition podcast, and it is interesting, when these kids are kind of like faced with a problem and like, well, we don't have the materials for this, we can't figure this out, and then you go to a problem like this that happened in the year it did with the resources they had is really incredible. So and that is a real thing. It's like, duct tape will do wonders. I did share an image, a little video with some of I think I dropped that into the group for our video producers because we use gaff tape a lot. And I love that the hood of one of the design finalist cars, I saw them undoing the gaff tape that was holding the hood down for their race, that they just came off of the course for. So, it's just like, hey, gaff tape helps too. Duct tape will do, however the case may be. So thank you for that. There's a New York Times article if you're with us on the video for those pictures and everything like that. I presume you're the subscriber that lent this link here?
No, actually, I found it on Reddit.
Reddit? Oh, interesting.
There was someone on Reddit who gifted it.
So you had a good share link there. So it was in. I was noticing the New York Times wraparound said shared with you by a Times subscriber, and of course it encourages you. So I'm glad they do that, so you can like, hey, check out this article and actually read it without being bugged.
Especially when and I don't know if there's a limit on time, or I'm not sure how New York Times runs that, but it's nice that they give you that ability if you're a subscriber.
So I just joined something before the show. It's a new app, and it's a new app just like the old apps. So this one is called Surf Social. The creators of these were on Intelligent Machines, the show that formerly known as This Week in Google, with Lee Laporte, Jeff Jarvis, and Paris Martineau. Paris. I just know Paris. Anyways, so the idea here is that's Dave. Here, let's try this button. There you go. That's the social button. So it's a surf.social if you want to check it out. It's in a beta right now. So, basically you're going to sign up and they're going to let so many people in, in general. Yeah, this doesn't really tell me anything. So introducing Surf it's basically the idea is going to bring in custom feeds, not just like, being your social media feed and everything like that. But it is kind of, you can create, Dave, we got a little bit of bumping with you
sorry about that.
The show. It's okay.
I'll mute my.
It's okay. So, but you can create this show that you can log in with your BlueSky and your Mastodon and be able to start with that and go from there. Let me pop it up here, and then we can go ahead and check this out in practice as well. So let's go ahead and hit my share there. And then we just loaded this thing. Where did I go? There we go. So you pop in here. They call it the groundswell beta right now. I just went through real quick, and I have like retrospection, retro gaming, 404 media journalists. I hear them quoted a lot on the podcast I listen to, social web curators, and then you go from there. And I haven't entirely figured out how to get into feeds. Like you still have a feed. Oh, I have a home timeline, which is mostly my BlueSky for the most part right now, until I get kind of more into this. So you kind of get the idea. So it's another reader that's going to pull in at least your Mastodon and your BlueSky situation. And here my sources right now are like what's popular with my friends, what I'm actually following on BlueSky. You can add what's following on your Mastodon. I haven't logged into my Mastodon just yet. Best of, Discover, Mutuals. They got really interesting filters in here. Let me see if I can get into that because I thought that was really interesting. Things like, minimize news, minimize politics, minimize mentions of Elon Musk is one that's on here. There's only like 4 of those filters, and that's one of them, which I thought was also very, very interesting and kind of funny, actually. So let me see if I can pop those on your content warnings. You do your trending searches, scroll hit, scroll stuff. Trying to find that one. So you get the idea there, but you can go in there and add your kind of what you're into. And it's a nice, I believe this is the one that's from the people that did Flipboard, if I'm not mistaken. I'm digging this older.
Oh, I guess, yeah, because it's one of the options.
Yeah. So
like your shows roll couch can connect.
It's making that really cool. Like, and we talked about like kind of what was it? Blue screen and flashes for blue Blue Sky, like it feels like it does that. So anytime there's a YouTube link, it's kind of automatically playing these videos, and then pulling links from the articles and making like a nice little splash page for them. So it is a nice visual thing. And this is the most. There's an ad in that one. Apparently, it doesn't have my YouTube Premium as part of this, so it's really cool. So you can see what happens when I go to 404 Media. So these are more articles. So I'm interested to see. So wait a minute. So you go in that, and that's more of a feed versus you go to the, what was a retrospection, and it goes more into this kind of Flipboard like player. It's very interesting how it decides one versus the other, but I guess it's because of the kind of media that's attached to it, or maybe it's kind of set up with the feed. So again, it's beta. There's a lot of things they still need to kind of add to it and everything, and sources and things like that. You can go in. So it got my home timeline and then created a very specific feed. Is it a watch feed, a tech, gaming, cooking, music? You can pull your podcasts into here as well, build playlists of all that stuff. So it's again, it's kind of like a different kind of vibe to your social media. And again, mostly for obviously it's not going to be Twitter or anything. It's just your Mastodon and BlueSky. So I think one of the biggest barriers is the ease of use, and a lot of times the interface, right? Mastodon still gets kind of it's not very visual, is it? For the most part. So putting a kind of a fresh coat of paint on it for something like this. And it seems like there's a lot of these popping up.
Now, is this only for viewing or it's also for posting?
I don't think you can post in it now that I think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So it is a reader. So basically I looked on Flipboard itself,
mm-hmm.
and they say surf from Flipboard.
Mm-hmm.
And one of their posts on Flipboard, it says, we got a long weekend on the horizon, so we're stoked for some content and conversations about cycling. So I don't know if they went on the horizon and stoked, if that's the way they talk, or if they're trying to do stereotypical surfer talk.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's surf.
Yeah, they're definitely going with a theme, aren't they? So video watch list of your favorite. And it is kind of doing that thing like Flipboard would do. Hey, why don't you do a watch feed of all the people you follow on YouTube and things like that? So find your favorite YouTube channels. Why go through it here instead of let's do Wrestling Mayhem Show and see what comes up. So again, it's just kind of like a different delivery device. So I'm wondering how practical it is. And then you got our BlueSky got our YouTube and our BlueSky profiles pop up in here. So let's go and add the YouTube to it, let's say, and that'll drop into there. And then what we go next from here, my shows. So maybe I can just go in here and say, hey, here's all my stuff, and create a feed. And now I'm in here. Now from here, let's see. I can't. They did add compose a post. So I can add a post right now. I'm wondering what happens when you also log into Mastodon, but also here, this kind of turns this into a little bit of a TikTok Reels kind of feature, doesn't it? While we're at it, so as it goes through all of our videos. So I think that's pretty interesting. So I don't know if it's going to get any kind of critical mass. Is it going to be the next step from a Flipboard to take something in like this? I don't know. I don't know how much. Like I feel like it's still a super geeky thing to say I'm going to create my own feed of content, but I'm appreciating the aesthetic to it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of choices, and I don't know how to land on the easiest choice. Because again, in my mind, the limiting factor is I would love a one app to rule them all. If I had something that pulled in like TikTok and Instagram and BlueSky and Mastodon and Twitter, but of course nobody's going to play together anymore, because that's what used to happen, right? Like we did get all of these. When we talk about, say, 2012, we had all of these feeds, even Facebook to some regard. We're all into Flipboard, let's say, right? Your YouTube feed. You could put all these in one place, but that's like near impossible. So now we have these bifurcated, like, well, okay, you got YouTube and Mastodon and BlueSky. Good luck. Meta's not going to play. Twitter's not going to play. So either are they going to die on the vine, or are they going to be part of the community, kind of thing. But these dudes seem kind of like a off here kind of thing. So Katie, as the social media expert here, how do you see kind of tools like this being used?
It just, at least it condenses some part of a group of our apps, because it's gotten so frustrating with trying to keep up with what's going to come, and there's definitely new, I don't know, I guess it's like we keep talking about, it's like wherever your folks are going, that's where you have to go, and we're playing a game with Chase right now.
Yeah, we are. I mean, I have like a whole other page of just like apps I'm trying right now. Like, it's crazy.
So, it is, yeah. It's wild, like Neptune and like
Open Vibe.
Yeah.
I got Microblog. I got Croissant for posting, which I don't know that I'm really been using all that much. I should have used it tonight for the show and just didn't. I was watching a video, so I didn't want to open the app because it's not on the Mac. It should be on the Mac. Why aren't you on the Mac? Are you on the Mac yet? Croissant, are you on the Mac? Let me see if you're on the Mac yet, because it seems like every other app is able to open up on the Mac. So we'll see if that pops up. There needs to be some updates. We gotta, and I guess the answer is like, okay, well, maybe you can't bring threads over, but at least like threads content, if you're following it, you can follow threads from Mastodon. So that's a way in, right? And they're supposed to be opening that up more and more as they go. Allegedly, we'll see what happens. Kind of depends on how much they get pushed for antitrust, I suppose. How do you spell croissant? Croissant. There it is. Oh, well, hello. Croissant is now downloadable on the Mac. This changes my life right here, actually. Oh, hello. Croissant. I already subscribed to you, though. Don't make me subscribe to you on a different device. Oh, wow. Okay. This is drop some truth is the prompt, by the way, on Croissant. So that seems imposing. Anyways, no, that's cool. I just need to add all of my accounts yet again because I'm on a different platform. But still, that's my BlueSky, Mastodon, and Threads. So I put my podcast accounts in there and indie wrestling accounts, and then I can at least cross post some of the stuff that we can take care of. So either way, solving part of the problem is better than nothing. So, but again, I'm excited because it is Flipboard. I used to love Flipboard. You get an early iPad. You had the Flipboard thing. It was like, because all we knew was Google Reader at the time. So at least we had the behavior, and it's like, oh, it's Google Reader, but it's prettier, which is basically what this is doing. Man, I need like an iPad that doesn't just sit here, so I can just like sit with this. Probably a more recent one, because I definitely have older iPads, and that's probably not a great experience for this because I don't have the new OSs or anything like that. But still, like this makes me want to get an iPad, in retrospect for something like this. But I don't know. We'll see. Surf.social will get anywhere with it. Hopefully get some traction. Hopefully Open Vibe, Neptune. Which one? This is bad. I can't remember which one Open Vibe is. Like, I think I have to open it up to figure out which one it is. And I need to sign in with something. So, but I think it's mostly a Mastodon thing. Oh, whatever. Anywho, anything else you guys want to get into here on the way out the door? I don't think we have any more links here.
No, I think we hit all the links that we had in there too.
It was a very slow news week. But cool. Oh, well, we'll let Katie go because her head's full of snot, and I think my medicine has arrived at my front door.
Yay!
So we'll go ahead and do that, okay? So either way, guys, thank you so much. Dave Podnar, the iPhoneography podcast. Anything cool going on over there?
Well, we're in our off week, so we're still thinking about what we're going to talk about next week. So
that must be nice to have a.
Now I didn't say that it works.
Okay.
Because most of the time it turns it into, like the Friday before, or we're going into the week and like, guys, we have a podcast Monday. What we're talking about?
Yeah.
Now we're lucky is that we're getting really close to WWDC.
That makes it a little easier, doesn't it?
That does, because there are leaks of the new look at the camera app for the iPhone, and we're hoping, without any evidence, but we're hoping that maybe Apple will give us a photo equivalent to the video camera they put out. You know, they had the separate video camera that worked with Final Cut, so the Final Cut camera had some more advanced section, and kind of hoping they could do that for the photos. That way, if you wanted to do a little more advanced, or you could just have an advanced button like they do for the calculator, but keep it away for if you just want to do snapshots. We're hoping beyond hope, but we're trying to keep an eye on that, and then we may have a preview one, and then of course the week after we'll go over the whole deal, who knows how long it's going to be. We're getting probably back up to an hour and a half, 2 hours.
We'll see. I mean, of course, WWDC always drops when I'm at this other event, so that'll be fun. At least I had a year off last year. But anyways, KatieDudas.com.
Yes.
Katie stuff.
1-900 Dutters.
Yes. Patreon.com/Dutters. Actually, we should probably get that for you, actually. So only
you can ride a roller coaster with me and listen to me swear, or I'll just talk to you whenever I get stuffy.
Only Dutters.
Or with Dutters being stuffed up, Dutters Modern Life.
Whatever. You only accept calls when you're sick.
Yes, that's it. Nope, you don't want it when it's normal. You just want it when it's sick.
There you go. And what's going on this week? Thursday night fights, of course, our video training night over there with 880 Wrestling in the South Side at the old One Up Skate Shop. If you guys want to join us here and hang out for that. Also, there's a big show. Bumpy bump. There's a big show Friday. I'll probably fix that in post. There'll be a big show Friday at Penn Brewery. Weather pending, we're going to be on the top of the garage, the parking garage, once again, with that big view of the skyline. If you've seen the video and photos from that from back in, I think, October, we tried that, like a bunch of crazy people. So that'll be happening. We'll be live streaming that. I will be down at the Harris Theater. My old friend Chris Ivey just hit me up today, and we'll be streaming a Q&A around his film premiere event, I believe it is, down there. I'm still gathering details, to be quite honest. So there's an event at Harris Theater at 11 a.m. on Saturday, and I'm going to be there, and we're going to live stream some Q&A. So I know if Chris is involved, that it's worth your time. So anyways, wait a minute, I have a flyer. Hold on, I got a flyer. Let me give you that.
We have a flyer.
Ooh, I'm scared.
Yeah, and the tippy tappy was me trying to check out the Weather Channel. So Friday afternoon.
What's that? What's going on?
Friday afternoon. Weather Friday.
Don't give me the weather. No, I'm not even looking until the day before, because I know how much that changes. No, this is actually from Greenfield to Pittsburgh, how arsenic almost got away with 72 murders. It's about a community. I think it was a building that burnt down or something. Yeah. So and there's a documentary around that. So, and Q&A around it. So big event, big local event that's happening there. So we'll be streaming that over on his YouTube and everything. We'll share that across my social medias and stuff as we get going for that. Again, still kind of pulling together on that thing. So we just got to go ahead today. And what else is happening? Chris Russo does a taping, and then I'll be out in Auto Drive Challenge next week. So look for a fun picture from there. Heading out to IM City, and we're going to see if some automated cars will go by themselves for a week. So excited to get back up onto MCD. I missed that place, and really cool to be a part of that again. And we're going to do some cool stuff with drones and stuff from our friends Cut and Run and with Swemba Productions and everything. So we got a little bit of a Voltron video team kind of pulling together here in a different way than we've been doing with the formula and everything too. So very excited to be getting into that. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Podnar. Thank you, all the people that listen to the AwesomeCast. I've been checking out the clips on all the social media. Please like, subscribe, share all the stuff that comes out there, and we'll see you guys next time. You guys have been an awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.
I'm Eamon.
I'm Merlin.
And we're a gay.
And his NB.
Are you a reality television connoisseur?
Do you like it discussed from an LGBTQ lens?
If so, A Gay and His NB is the podcast for you.
Hear us break down all your favorite guilty pleasure reality shows from Bravo, Drag Race, and just about everything in between.
Listen to A Gay and His NB on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.